I want to thank y'all too. It's hard when you're going through something. It's hard to take in all the love. If you've been through a hard thing, you know what I'm talking about. Because there's a lot of love in this family. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of prayer. And I've been feeling lately. It's like Joel's COVID was. It's like for me, it's like that blessed COVID, because I want to get the gold out of it, and I think there's some gold for a lot of us to get out of it, and obviously for Joel.
Amen.
2 Saturdays ago, about this time, I was just getting up to Boone, and I didn't know what I was going to find, because we couldn't hear. We were working hard to communicate with Joel, but he was out of it. I didn't know if I was going to have to kick the door in. I didn't know if he was going to be over in a corner out. I didn't know, because we hadn't heard from him for half of that day, and I knew he was getting in bad shape. But I do want to share a couple things. I don't want to take up a lot of time. I'm going to write it all down. I went back and was reading through everything today, and it's just overwhelming when you see what all Jesus has got it. He's got it. While we wait, he just wants us to get the gold out of it. He's got it. But just a couple things I want to share real quick. When I was traveling to Boone 2 Saturdays ago, and Joel was in bad shape, I was by myself, and I was crying and begging and pleading with God not to take him yet, because he was going downhill fast. It had gone in his chest, and it was bad. And we had just been up there Wednesday and Thursday, but when you leave Thursday morning, there's a long time between Thursday morning and Saturday night with this particular virus. And I was driving down the road. I hadn't got to Winston yet, but I just poured my heart out to the Lord, not knowing what I was going to find. And I knew he was having a hard time breathing. We'd already been hearing it what little bit we had talked to him on Friday and early Saturday morning. And it was in his lungs. He couldn't breathe. And I was going down the highway, and all of a sudden, before I got to Winston, I had the greatest idea I've ever had in my life. But it wasn't my idea. It was Jesus doing it. It was Jesus doing it. I had the thought, during all that crying and praying and pouring my heart out to God, I had the thought come to me, and the thought was, there is a product on the market at retail that I can buy that is oxygen in a bottle that will help people, and it's made for athletes and mountain climbers. I never had that thought in my life. I didn't know that existed. I didn't know it existed. But Jesus knew it existed. That's it, right there.
That's it, rocking kid rock.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
And in this bottle, you can take 400 1-second bursts of 95% pure oxygen. It's not medical grade, but the doctor that we were working with, I quickly pulled off the road when I got that idea from Jesus, which was not my idea. And we started looking it up online. I called Donna. I said, there's a product out here. We just need to find it. And I want to find it and get it in Winston before I go to Boone. There's a better chance finding it in Winston before I go away to Boone. And she started looking, and I texted it to the doctor that we were working with, and he came back. He said, wow, I didn't know that existed. Thank you. He could use it for his other patients. And he came back. He said, I've already looked it up. A few minutes later, he said, I've already looked it up, and it's safe. If you can find it, buy it. It's like Jesus was doing that for Joel. He was doing it for me. He was doing it for us. He was doing it for the doctor who's treating many other patients in the same shape that Joel was in. So we ended up, Donna called, we found out that they had them at, was it Walgreens? I think it was CVS. They had them at CVS, and I'd already gone in Academy Sports, and all they had was flavored air, which I knew when you're sick, you don't want peppermint or spearmint in your head. So she found there was a store, CVS store in Winston that had 4 bottles. So I started going, I went over to that store. It was 7 or 8 miles away. And it was like 10 minutes till 3 when I pulled up in the parking lot. I walked up to the front door, And a customer was coming out the door, and she looked at me. She said, "They're closing in 5 minutes." I'm like, "What? CVS is closing on Saturday at 3 o'clock?" So I went in there. They helped me find the bottles. I got them, and as the lady was shutting the door, she had to unlock the door to let me out because they didn't have enough workers. They can't stay open. They don't have enough workers to keep their store open. But anyway, that night, not knowing what I was coming into, that night when this right here helped Joel so much that night, because it would bump his number up from 87 to 88, which is really bad. You're not supposed to get below 90. You get organ damage. But he could use that night and the next day, and it was 3 or 4 puffs of it, and it would just bump his number up 1. But at that point, 1, I'll take 1. And it was fresh air for him, into his body. So I was just thankful how Jesus worked that out, because I never knew that existed until the Spirit gave me all the directions going down the road.
Wow.
This is what's on the market, and I'm like, "Thank you, Lord." So that was a wonderful experience, and you all obviously know a lot of the story after that. So, Sunday, I think we know Jesus shoots pool with people too. He was shooting pool with me because I never had one thought in my mind that I was going up to Boone Saturday to bring Joel home to be with us here in Graham on Sunday. My whole mindset was, I'm going up there, I want to put my eyes on him, see what we can do, and if I have to take him, I'm taking him to the Baptist Hospital in Winston. I'm not taking him back to the Boone emergency room. They'd already sent him home with 105-degree fever 4 or 5 days before that. So Jesus worked all that out, and that's a fantastic story too, but we got down there, and Jesus wanted him there to get his chest x-rayed, and so we knew he had pneumonia. And then Jesus wanted to put it in our hearts for me to ask the question. It's like, I've got a choice to take him back to Boone and live out of a hotel and take care of him, or bring him home to Graham. And I got excellent counsel from a lot of you, and I appreciate that, because I was feeling it. But it's like, it's a big deal to bring somebody home that sick and bring them in your house that you're going to have to take care of them. But you want to do it, but it's a big decision. So I'm very. The overwhelming love and the prayers, it's like there's nobody else. I said on one of those messages, there's nobody else in this universe, and that really doesn't do it justice. It's more than just this planet. Y'all are bigger than this universe and beyond. It's like, I'm very thankful, because it was headed in a very bad direction.